We're going to call to order the weekly finance meeting for the commissioners. This is December 20th, 2023, appointed hours 1:30 p.m. We'll begin with an opportunity for public comment. Okay, hearing none. We typically handle the minutes at this point. I'm going to make a motion that approval of the minutes be subject to supplying of the materials that were discussed. For attachment to the minutes, I understand some of the material came in just a few minutes ago. I thought
Gary,
I had some, yeah.
be doing board.
Say again?
Shouldn't we be doing salary board first?
Yeah,
that's what I was here for.
Yep.
Okay. Let me see okay, these are sent out of order to me, so a mistake, I think. So, all right, let's recoup here. The date's the same, December 20th, 2023. Appointed hours arrived. So this will be the salary board. We'll proceed with this and then go into finance. So roll call of members present, please.
Commissioner Eichelberger?
Present.
Commissioner Fauci?
I'm here.
Commissioner DeFilippo?
Present.
Controller Wickham?
Here.
Okay, thank you. All right, so that's the opportunity for public comment then following. Doesn't look like there's anybody addressing salary board issues. We have the minutes in hand of December 7, 2023. Entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes of December 7th.
Second.
Moved and seconded. All in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. We have salary board actions in hand as well. So need a proposal on that.
I'll make a motion to approve the salary board actions as provided.
I'll second.
Okay, it's moved and seconded. All in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion carries unanimously. Thank you. Okay, that brings us to item 5. Any additional business for salary board? There is none. So entertain a motion for adjournment.
Motion to adjourn.
You stand adjourned then. Thank you. Okay, now let's move on to finance meeting, and we'll call that meeting to order. Again, still December 20th, 2023. Opportunity for public comment on finance meeting. All right, with that, we're going into item 3, the minutes. As I started to mention inadvertently, we have minutes that presumably are going to have attachments related per 2 commissioner comments at the last meeting. I understand one set, which I thought I had sent, has not arrived, and the other was just received a few minutes ago. So, Keith, I believe we would adopt the minutes subject to receipt of those materials.
Correct.
Okay, that's my motion then.
You moved to it's subject to the attachment of materials from you and me.
Yes.
Okay, I will second that motion.
Okay, it's moved and seconded. All in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. Okay, that brings us to today.
Every one of the attachments goes with those minutes that they're posted. Those are public information. Thank you.
Yeah, unless it's something that was redacted in the right to know. So we have the topics of discussion for today. Several on the docket here. First one is discussion and approval of PA Commission on Crime and Delinquency. This is the grant award for adult probation. Darby, you're listed here. Did you wish to present?
Gary, Darby hasn't joined the meeting yet. We'll reach out to him, but can we move on to the next?
Yeah, we'll come back to that one then. So let me just take a note of that. Okay. All right, that brings us to the IntegraONE contract. This is IMTO. Mark Adams is listed.
Yeah, I'll actually be covering for Mark. This is Darren.
Hey, Darren.
Good afternoon, Commissioners. I'm here just to request the purchase of a penetration test. This is something that we'd like to do on a fairly regular basis. It's just to test our defenses that we have in place. Penetration test pretty much consists of an internal as well as an external penetration test, and it tests all the systems that we have in place. It scans our network to see what is publicly accessible, scans the inside of our network to make sure everything's safe and patched. It detects vulnerabilities so that we can go back and fix those vulnerabilities. And they also do a wireless penetration test as well. And at the end of that, they will provide a report that is viewable, as well as a presentation. I believe they'll do a presentation for IT guys as well as for the commissioners if you'd like as well. This contract is $29,125. Any questions?
Yeah, is this a year test?
I'm sorry?
It's a once per year test.
Yes, this is what we would like to do this annually. The last time we did this was in 2021, but the recommended cybersecurity practice in the industry is to do it annually. Yes.
Okay, thanks.
Darren, I have one question. So when we originally talked about this, or maybe not originally, but I know in the past, we talked about rotating contractors for this. So we had different, eyes on the process. Have we used IntegraONE before? And are we still doing the rotational?
So yeah, it's a very important piece to bring up. So last time we did this, we used Appalachia. This time we're using Integra. Time in the past, now I'm going back 10 years, we used a different company. So it's critical that we rotate companies that perform this test so that we don't get the same results. We have different people looking at the information. So yes, this is a different, we've never used Integra for this.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, other questions? If not, we'll entertain a motion regarding the contract.
Make a motion to approve the IntegraONE contract for IMTO in the amount of $29,125.
I second.
Okay, moved and seconded. There's no further questions. All in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Great. Thank you, Commissioners.
Thank you, Darren. Okay, that moves us on to next item. Cathy Waters is listed to discuss the potential approval of the Vision Government Solutions contract on tax assessment.
Hello. This is a software maintenance and support agreement with Visions. It runs from January 1 of 24 to December 31st of 2024. The cost from last year was $51,400. The new contract is $55,003. It's a $3,900 increase.
Okay, questions? Entertain a motion.
I will move to approve the Vision Government Solutions contract for tax assessment as discussed.
Second.
Okay, moved and seconded. All in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Thank you.
Thank you, Cathy. Okay, next discussion item is the contract grant for public safety as listed. Bob, are you there? We have you listed as the presenter.
Yes, I'm here. Can you hear me okay?
Great.
Okay, Public Safety's requesting your approval for a 1-year extension for our Vesta 911 phone system maintenance contract. The amount is $144,410.46. This is a $31,503.58 increase, but it is needed to cover the final year of our phone system until the transition to the new NG 911 system with the PEMA statewide call handling. So certainly rather costly, but definitely needed. You want me to do all three?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. The second one, requesting approval of a land lease agreement with Shippensburg Borough. That's for the construction of the Timber Hill P25 radio tower. The agreement there is $12 per year for a total of 5 years, and then an annual renewal after that. And the third one, a request to accept the 2023 Interconnectivity funding grant. That's through the 911 fee for the amount of $177,062.50. This will support the GIS and address location pre-migration, as well as the ILEC or incumbent local exchange carrier post-migration work for the transition to the new NG 911 phone system. So basically transferring all the phone lines and connection to the new system. And like I said, PEMA is covering that out of their interconnectivity grant. Any questions?
I have none. Anyone else? If not, we'll entertain a motion.
I'm making a motion to approve all the contracts and grant for public safety as listed. That would include Motorola Solutions, Shippensburg Borough, PEMA 911 statewide interconnectivity funding grant acceptance of $177,062.50.
I second.
Okay, moved and seconded. All in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
Okay, thank you all.
Thanks, Robert. Okay, that moves us on. We have the Commission for Women scheduled to give us a quarterly update. Kelly Smith, are you there?
Yes, I'm here. Thank you very much. Also with me here today is our current Vice Chair and 2024 Chair, Ashley Wolkoliak. We're going to go through a recap of the Women's Commission, and we're also going to discuss our bylaw updates and 2024 funding. Currently, our membership sits at 20 members. At the beginning of 2024, it will be 17. We have a few members who are cycling off at the end of the year. We have a maximum of 25, so 17 out of 25. We're really pleased on that. And we really made a push to have all of our members active. So every single member on our commission is actively involved in implementing and planning a program throughout a calendar year. So we didn't want the commission to just be a resume line item. We want members to be engaged. So we're really thrilled and excited for the members that we have, and everybody has a deep passion and commitment to the commission and the work that we're doing in the local community. Our 2023 objectives were to increase our member engagement. And as I just said, all of our members were actively involved in planning and implementing all our events. And we really hold our members to that accountability of being part of at least one program in the calendar year. We wanted to increase our social media presence. We currently have a LinkedIn and Facebook, and we've been exploring the possibility of adding an Instagram to help engage a different demographic. And we were working with the county comms team with the help and approval for that. We are also looking to build a commission comms team to help with our marketing, to help get our presence out there on social media and beyond. We have members that have those strengths, so we're looking to really fortify and build up that team so we can get our digital footprint out there. We were looking to increase and diversify our programming and our outreach throughout the year. And then we also wanted to update our bylaws. So we worked with this office and the solicitor to update our bylaws over the past year. The main change was our membership terms. Our previous terms were grossly unfair. The terms would all start January 1, regardless of when a member was voted in. So, for example, if a member was voted in at the October meeting, that member would lose a whole year of appointment. Additionally, the old bylaws had a maximum number of appointments each year, which resulted in partial terms. So some members could potentially serve an initial term of 5 years if they had a partial term, whereas others would be only serving a 2-year initial term. So our new bylaws were written so that the membership term begins when the commissioners appoint the member, and thereby the member will serve 3 years. So this will allow for equal terms for all members and will naturally stagger those appointments. We also added a political involvement policy to protect the integrity of the commission when potentially collaborating with our local legislators on any community events and programming. The commission's not a political entity, and the bylaws stipulate that, and this clause was just an added level of protection. Are there any questions, since I'm bringing it up now? Are there any questions about our bylaws or the updates? So we respectfully ask a motion to approve the bylaw updates for the commission.
Okay, do we have a motion?
Move to approve the Cumberland County Commission for Women bylaw updates.
I'll second.
Okay, it's moved and seconded. If there's no further questions or comments, all in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Thank you so
Kelly.
much. Thank you so much. And then our final goal, I know I'm getting a little bit out of order here, but our final goal for 2023 was to create a strategic plan. So we outlined the entire 2024 calendar year in terms of programming and goals. All of our 2024 programs already have committees and deadlines to ensure we keep on task and drive the momentum of the commission forward. We have, you can see in front of you, we have our 2023 programs. I did a recap of all the months and when we offer the programs. In April, we did the Sexual Assault Awareness Month panel. We did Navigating Systems, our virtual lunch and learn, which we're going to continue in 2024. In October, we partnered with the Making Strides Against Breast Cancer organization. One of our CCCW members was actively involved in working with the Making Strides organization, so we were able to be represented at the event. The event is geared toward women battling or surviving breast cancer. So it was a great demographic to get our name and outreach out because we haven't done any work in the field of women's health historically as a commission. And as a byproduct of this event, we were reached out to by a local group, the Pennsylvania Breast Cancer Coalition, in regards to some work they do in the Carlisle area that we can potentially collaborate with them on in 2024. And then finally, this month, we've been doing a female sanitary product and diaper drive to benefit the YWCA as well as our local schools. We really saw a need in terms of female care products in our area and in our local schools. So we've been working with organizations and our members have been working really hard to make this initiative successful, and we're really proud of it. We also were in attendance at the county mental health town hall discussions that were held in the spring and summer of this past year. So those were our 2023 programs. And as I said, we already have 2024 outlined in terms of our programming. So our anticipated programs, I have them broken down by quarters. So quarter 1 and 3, we're going to offer our next navigating system. The next one is going to be January 18th at 12. And this is going to be focused on navigating divorce. The speaker is going to be Casey Johnson Welsh. She's a licensed local attorney. Our previous lunch and learn was a huge success, and it added a lot of credibility to our organization because we were able to offer continuing education units to professionals that needed it. So it was very well attended and we had really good feedback on it. So we're really excited to offer this next lunch and learn in January. We're going to keep building on our exploration into women's health and wellness by offering free yoga or a wellness activity in the park in the spring and summer. We have members who are actively planning a childcare town hall discussion. We're going to explore suicide prevention. And then again, in the fall, we want to explore breast cancer to keep building off the work that we did this past year. Ongoing, we want to increase our youth outreach. Again, something we haven't historically done. And again, that kind of ties into our exploration with Instagram as well to help us get our commission and our mission out to a completely different demographic. And we also want to attend more community events. So we want to build our partnership with local nonprofits and advocacy groups and well-established events. We want to have tables and booths and have the commission name out there because we still hear and see in the community that when we say we're part of the commission, people still don't know that a commission exists or the work that we do. So we really want to get our name and our footprint out there and attend more events. And we also want to meet with past members to share our strategic plan and to show how the commission has grown. We've encountered past members in the community, and our commission has really blossomed, and we have such a strong stakehold in our local communities across Cumberland County now, and we want to share that momentum, that progress with our past members. So that's a goal of ours for 2024. I broke down our spending for 2023 so you can see where our allotted budget went with all of our programmings. And then I have the request for 2024. So as I said, our goal for 2024 is to attend more in-person events, to partner with other advocacy groups and nonprofits on their established events already. And we can only do that by increasing our marketing and increasing our activities. So the outline is below, where we are respectfully asking for $3,000 for our 2024 programming. Any questions?
It's a well done presentation, Kelly.
Thank you, Commissioner.
Okay. We're looking for a motion to approve that budget.
Yes, a motion to approve the $3,000 for 2024 Women's Commission spending.
I'll move to approve the Commission for Women funding for 2024 as requested.
I'll second.
Okay, it's moved and seconded. All in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion
Thank
carries.
you so much, Commissioners.
Thank you.
That cat is very cute, Ashley. It looks like it's perched on your shoulder.
This is where she hangs out during the day. This is my on-site supervisor. Thank you all very much.
Thank you. Okay, so I believe that brings us to the library system. So Carolyn is going to provide our quarterly update once again.
Hopefully you have in your packets a copy of the fourth quarter conditional grants report. We are almost done with all of the grants. There are a few things that were back ordered, a few things that we delayed some spending until we last week when we found out that the state funding went through, and we could definitely put forth the funds to do these activities. We're feeling very confident that they're would be considered completed. The virtual reference, as I've reported before, we started that program in earnest with our training in June and staffing in July, staffing the desk, and we have we're now at 20. We lost a couple of staff that were on it, but we have 20 reference librarians and administrative staff that are working that desk, and we have local hours. And in this last month, we get these monthly reports that 28.9% of the questions were related to the local library, 18.4% to Reader's Advisory, and 10.4% were general reference questions. And so we exactly the sorts of things we wanted it to be used for. And so we're glad to see that result. We've been able to reimburse our member libraries for their time on the shift, the staffing that they provide to those shifts. And so we're currently at reimbursing the libraries around $3,000 for their time. And we plan to continue a reimbursement program in 2024, which I think has helped incentivize participation. We only have 4 libraries doing it right now. Some of our smaller libraries just don't have the capacity to help, but we're hoping that they'll see what value it brings to our libraries and maybe get some more people on board. In terms of website usability, this one, you know that the program changed a little bit after we talked with usability experts, but what we've been doing for the second 2 quarters have gone really well. Doing testing on our website with monthly tests, monthly benchmark tests, biannual benchmark tests that we're running. And they involve contacting the people who edit those pages and explaining to them, what they've done that's a violation of a usability rule and how to fix that, or if it's internal, of course, we're fixing it. And we keep all that recorded and noted so that we can watch for patterns and learn in 2024 where we may need to do some additional training. So that's the compliance tracking chart that I mentioned in the second bullet point. And we added, I think I mentioned this last time, that we added user way. It's a really, it's a non-invasive circle with a person standing there in the middle of it. You click on it and it allows you to adjust the web page for a myriad of disabilities. So different ways people might need contrast changes, font changes, get rid of the images so that they can concentrate on the text. So that's been a really nice addition to it. And it's on every single page, but it doesn't really obscure the page for people. People don't need it. So we like it. And the last thing that I added there's a URL at the bottom of that box. And that is our accessibility page, which we just recently updated to give people a place if they do find a violation. The page has always existed, but we gave them a way to report issues that they might find on our web page so that we can fix them quickly. And just kind of updated what it is that we're doing to meet website usability. Our auto renewal trial is coming. The trial is coming to an end. We will not be turning it off on December 31st. We're going to continue it into January to give additional time for libraries to evaluate what we found during the trial. So we started with the public on November 1st, and the feedback has been extremely good. The only negative feedback we tend to get from people is things like, I already know how to renew my own books. I don't need your help. And I understand that, but a lot of people do really appreciate the help. We've had situations in our feedback form, we've had people name things like, I had a car accident and I couldn't even get to my car to get to my books to renew them. And library, quite frankly, was last thing on my mind. I'm so glad they were auto renewed. We had one that was a death of a parent. We have people with much less dramatic, but things like, I'm juggling kids and life in general. And it's just been so helpful to have my books auto renewed, my items auto renewed. So we're continuing, we're going to evaluate. We've been reading these evaluative comments, and if they give us an email responding to the people with information, if they've asked for more information about it, we have been collecting fine data, checkout data, fines and checkouts. Yeah, fine data and checkout data from previous months, the same season, August through December, and we're going to compare to this year to see, has there been any real impact, strong impact on our libraries. That's something that we just can't overcome. One of the interesting things that just recently happened was the number of checkouts greatly increased, and we figured out that that was just a setting that couldn't be changed in our old software, but our software just happened to be updated last week, and in the new version of the software we could update that and fix that. So we were seeing an abundance of checkouts from the system headquarters office, and we don't act as a public library, so we got that fixed. But overall, it's been really well received, and we think a really worthwhile project, and I hope the libraries will want to continue this as long as we're working with this software package, so at least the next 4 years. Our meeting room project, we looked at 8 different meeting room reservation software packages. For some of them were easy to roll out immediately, some we looked at more closely. There's actually one that we're very interested in, but it's not ready for prime time yet. So we decided to go with a less robust package, but it does the job. It will do room reservations. 6 of our libraries are going to adopt it. We purchased it for 6 of our libraries. 2 of our libraries, John Graham and East Pennsboro, just don't have capacity for it. And at least one of the libraries is keeping it an internal package. They're going to put it out to the public immediately, but people will be able to go on and reserve meeting room space, see what's available, and put in a request, and it will be reserved for until the staff member would have to deny it for some reason. So you can't have double booking is what I'm trying to say, I guess. Five of the libraries accepted what we're calling Go Kits. Go Kits they're a package that's going to be cataloged and available for people to check out from the library for in-library use for meetings that they're having there, or staff can use it, of course. And I think I listed in here that it includes so we've purchased Surface Go tablets with a Bluetooth keyboard. They connect wirelessly to, they connect to our wireless networks, and a wireless projector is included with that. So the projector can be used with the Surface, or it can be used with your own device. So somebody could come in with their phone or their own laptop with a presentation they want to show, and it would just connect wirelessly to that projector. There's also a wide angle, 100-degree wide angle camera, microphone, speaker unit in the Go Kit. So all those are nicely packaged into a carrying case, and they need to be cataloged, and then they'll be out and available to our libraries and to the public to use. And lastly, the backpack project, our irony here, the backpacks are back ordered. So we don't have them packed yet and cataloged, but we do have the bulk of the materials. 35 backpacks are purchased. So that we have nature guides, magnifying glasses, pencil pouches, flashlights, pens, notebooks. We've selected particular books for each one. So there's specialized to the themes, and then some added materials in the binders for those. So you got to see that at the first quarter, you got to see what we consider like a prototype that Bosler came up with, and we'll be putting those out. Sentinel did a very nice article on the backpacks, by the way, after the last report. We decided to, because these were back ordered and not quite ready, we thought, you know what, there's the project with Longwood Gardens, the community read. It's a nice nature themed time to roll these out. So we're going to hang on to them and debut them starting March 1, along with our partnership with Longwood Gardens Community Read. So that is my report on 2023 grants. Any questions about the grants, the projects?
I don't have any. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Carolyn. So the conditional funding agreement requires an approval from us for the adoption of these goals.
Question, I'm confused on the next to last bullet point. It says possible motion to approve the 2023 conditional funding. And then the next bullet, 2024 conditional funding projects. What are we approving for 2023?
So for 2023, it would be an ask to approve the $100,000 for the 2023 projects that I just summarized.
Yeah, to actually fund what you've done.
Right.
Okay, got it.
And the 24 is the goals for next year. Is that correct?
Okay. I'll make a motion then to approve the 2023 conditional funding for the Cumberland County Library System as presented.
A second.
Okay, moved and seconded. All in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
Thank you.
Okay, and the 24 conditional funding project goals, I guess it probably should say that, is handled separately. Is that right, Carolyn?
That's correct.
Okay, that's this page. Okay, that's my fault.
That's okay. And we talked about, Stacy and I had talked about that this would become an addendum to the MOU if it's approved here. And then my board has the ability on January 8th to vote to sign off on that addendum. But they have seen these projects, they've approved these, the directors came up with them, so they all approved them. So it's been through that process, and we've actually started in planning some of them. We're so excited about them. So, and we're making good use of Microsoft Teams, the folders for each. So just to briefly discuss them, the first one is for us to become Family Search affiliate libraries. And so that would require us to register with Family Search affiliate. There are no libraries in Cumberland County at this time. So we would be the first. We would provide the information technology needed to access the genealogy resources and staff to support this access. And this would provide people with specialized access to genealogical resources that you can join Family Search on the web for free, but you don't get access to these more in-depth resources. It's all tied to our IP address. And so that's how they know that you're in the door to get those things. The second one is actually tied to our strategic plan, and we want to build more consistency in our municipal relationships. What we found in my talking with individual directors and getting their annual reports is that not all of them have great partnerships with their townships and boroughs. Not all of them attend. And I don't necessarily mean the director attending, it could be a board member, but they don't all go to those meetings. They don't all know their elected officials. Their communities don't know them as well as we'd like them to. And so we're hoping by having a methodical way of every municipality getting representation from a library or the library system at meetings throughout the year, that we will be able to increase our visibility in those communities and build relationships, again, not only with the elected officials, but also community members, perhaps find ourselves in more newsletters, with more things shared on social media, and possibly municipal funding from the libraries. The next one is an inventory project. It's been 10 years since we've really done any earnest inventory of the materials in libraries. Obviously, we have software that checks things in and out, and we know what's being checked in and out, but we don't really have a full inventory. I don't know that in 1 year we'll get a full inventory, but every library is committed to at least doing a partial part of their inventory. It'll really depend on the equipment that if we are able to get it as promised in March, then we think maybe we could do a full inventory. So we're not sure what the number goals are for that at this point. We'll know in March when we get that equipment, the percentage of the collections that can be inventoried, but we really have a strong need for it. And this will help us confirm the accuracy of all of our statistics and electronic reports. The next one is about a compensation study. The next two you probably will relate to. They're very connected to things that the county's been doing, but actually in our strategic plan back in 2020, when we were writing it, we saw the need to, in order to retain staff, to do a salary study. We thought this is the year to do it. And I've been already talking to a firm from Pittsburgh who has done this for libraries in the past, and asking them not just if we could do something comparative library to library, but library to competing industries, because somebody from Frederickson Library just said to me, we've just raised our salaries. Our minimum is now $12 an hour going into 2024. And people could make more than that going to Sheets. And so, and Frederickson's probably one of our better paid libraries. So we want to see where we are, where we stand, and then see if each library can make some kind of a plan to see what they can do to help increase salary and or benefits for their staff. So a coordinated effort to do that. And lastly, the coop, as we call it in the department heads meeting. As I was working on my own coop, I realized our libraries they all have emergency plans. They know what to do if the fire alarm goes off and get people out of the building. But what do you do when that fire has just devastated your offices, your facilities? what are you going to do next? What happens when the worst happens? And so I've been talking with Michelle Parsons. She said she would be willing to give them some advice and and of course we have a platform for it already, but getting them all to document how they're going to continue their business operations in the worst case scenario. And so that's a project that they've all committed to as well. And this would, we put potential grant funding amounts for each of these that adds up to the $100,000, recognizing that this is a tough financial year we're going into. But we also have plans with B, C, and E. So with the municipal relationships, the inventory project, and the continuity of operations plans, financial incentives for libraries to participate in those and complete those projects. So hopefully that will help them as well.
What kind of financial incentives?
Just giving them money back for actually participating,
Okay.
actually complete. You've completed. So we haven't spelled it out because we don't know that we're getting it, but $1,000 for getting in your coop, that kind of thing. So because that's been one of the struggles with these grants is we get these great ideas and we're all behind them, but then getting 100% participation is my next goal on every grant. So hopefully that would help do that.
Other questions? Carolyn, I do have one question in regards to the salary survey, because those things can get very messy very easily. So I would imagine that both the financial thresholds of and the competitiveness for employees would vary considerably between, say, Frederickson and John Graham. So does the salary survey one size fits all, or is it taking into account the regional differences within the territories?
I think it would probably be more of a one size fits all. The examples that we've seen have shown, here's the high, here's the low, here's the median salary. So it doesn't call out one library is paying a lot less, one library is paying a lot more, numbers on a page. And then the directors and their boards can look at that and see, well, where do we fall in this scale? And do we need to be thinking about increasing wages?
So it's more informational. I mean, the discretionary power still resides, of course, with the member library board governing bodies. So.
Yeah, this would not be any dictation that they need to raise their salaries. It would just show them how they compare to the whole, and also how they compare to their competitors. Again, not identify who those competitors are exactly. They asked originally, they said, could we, you've got from the county. I don't even know how to compare the jobs at the county to those jobs, but library director to library director, I can. So we'll be looking at some positions, but also I'm hoping that the company, like I said, I just started briefly speaking with a company for PEMA, and they said, maybe we're looking at like a desk clerk at a library, similar to a customer service person in a store. So, where might people do the same work and what would they get paid there? And then what can libraries do to possibly incentivize staying with the library?
Okay, great. That's helpful. Thank you.
Sure.
Okay, so I believe that we are looking for an approval on those, on the project listing for adoption.
That's correct.
So we would need a motion by the commissioners. Anyone wish to offer?
I will move to approve the 2024 conditional funding projects for the Cumberland County Library System as discussed.
Second.
Okay, it's moved and seconded. Carolyn, I just add one point. When we initiated conditional funding, the goal really was to ensure we were aiming toward library of the future so that we would increase the relevancy to more citizens and make it, a broader appeal. And I think you guys have done a marvelous job in thinking outside of the old models and getting us there. So I'm continue to be impressed with some of the things that your folks have come up with. So I'll add, so we have it moved and seconded. All in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. Thank you.
Thank you, and thank you for saying that. I really appreciate that. I think that feedback will do for the directors. But thanks.
Thanks, Carolyn.
Okay, we had one item that we had to pass over with Darby in regards to PA Commission for Crime and Delinquency. Is he available, or have we heard back from him, Angela?
We have not, but I am able to discuss that on his behalf.
Okay. Would you go
So
ahead?
this is their annual grant from PCCD for the continuing county adult probation and parole. It was formerly called the Grant in Aid. The amount is the same amount as it was last year, and the grant is used for the purpose of providing additional funding for improving the adult probation services and the parole supervisions and making sure they are able to continue all of their programs. Any further questions on that, I can reach out to Darby, but that's what I'm able to share today.
I just want to point out, there's no county match required here.
That is correct.
Okay. I'll make a motion that we approve the PA Commission on Crime and Delinquency Grant Award of $227,310 for adult probation.
I second.
It's moved and seconded. All in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Okay. Then Angela, you'll notify Darby that this was approved then, please.
Yes, we will make sure they are notified.
Okay. Let him know that you did a great job on his behalf and there's no charge.
Yes.
Thank you, Gary.
Okay, brings us to item 5, other business. Is there anything additional? Doesn't sound like it. So if not, we'll entertain motion for adjournment.
Move to adjourn.
Okay, great. We stand adjourned then. Thank you all.
You know,